Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to my quick little look at Destiny 2. I've been playing it now for a few days. I'm power level 114, I think. So I've got a few hours under my belt. I just unlocked the first subclass for the Titan. Or is it the second? I'm not sure if the one they give you counts as a subclass. I unlocked the Striker for my Titan class. So just finished that. So I thought now might be a good time to talk about my first impressions of the game. What I think about it in general, how it performs, things like that. Now, there's a few things right off the bat that I do want to mention that I've been noticing with the performance. You can see up at the top that I have the FPS counter active, but it's a little bit strange. See, I just finished that single-player quest to unlock the second or first subclass. And I was rocking a 60 frame per second, buttery smooth, in the deep forest, lots of foliage, lots of shadows. And then I get here into certain locations like this, and then the frame rate just seems to give up, if I'm being honest. I think it seems to be when I'm around other players. I don't know if maybe it's just because the game just launched, because my graphic settings are clearly good enough to get 60 frames, because I was doing that mission single player. Lots of enemies going around, lots of effects, things like that. Never dipped below 60. But then you end up getting here, and it's pretty rough. And that is one thing that is kind of concerning me. I do hope we see that eventually get sorted out. Because it's pretty jarring. And I'm trying to get this loot before they spawn, but that did not work out. Okay, let's try that again. But yeah, so that's something that I would make sure people are aware of as a slight word of caution. It may not affect you. Your mileage may vary on that. But it is something that I've been noticing, and it's a little bit annoying, if I'm being honest. It's just kind of annoying knowing that I can run the game much better than it's running right now, but because what I believe is other players, it just doesn't run like I would expect it to. So I think there's some optimization that might need to go on. We'll see what happens as time goes on. See if Bungie gets that updated. Hopefully they do. Now, moving on to what I've been thinking of the actual gameplay. It's really fun. Really, really fun. I'm finding myself loving all of the abilities. I love punching things right in the face. That's always fun. Enemy variety seems to be pretty good. I've not gotten bored shooting any of these enemies yet, and I'm sure that there's more variety as the game goes on. The public events are really fun. I enjoy how they are really big, kind of explosive events. They really throw a lot of effects out there, and I'm kind of having a hard time aiming at certain points with the frame rate. But yeah, those public events are really fun. You get great rewards for them. So I think they did a really good job with that. It reminds me of the way Guild Wars 2 and Elder Scrolls Online do their public events, where it's just a big thing, everyone comes together for it. But unlike those events, this one actually has a timer, which I enjoy. Keeps it very simple. The game's very arcade-like, and I really, really dig that. It's got kind of a Borderlands feel to it, which I wasn't quite expecting going into it, you know. This being the same company that made Halo, I know it's a different set of people now, but I was expecting something more along the lines of Halo, and aesthetically and gameplay-wise it is, but I'm finding it much more focused on MMO-style arcade, which I really enjoy. I wish we had more games like this. You know, shooters that have a looting aspect, but different classes, and I don't know. It's a genre that I'd like to see get expanded on a lot more, because with the exception of Borderlands and now Destiny, there's not a whole lot of shooter looters. At least not that I've been made aware of. I guess you could say, what was it called? Defiance, that game, which was a fun game, you know? Defiance was a really fun game. But yeah, so I'm having a blast playing the game. I just enjoy going around, and I can understand where some people have issues with the game. You know, if you were going into this expecting something like Halo. You know, the story's not anything amazing, at least not yet. I do love the lore. Are we supposed to be shooting this thing? I do love the lore, and I do love the world, and I'm interested in all that, but the way the story is actually presenting itself, it's okay. It's standard MMO fare, but I can dig that, because I'm playing this 99% just for the great gameplay. I was a little weirded out by the way they do their weapon system, where you've got kinetic weapons to 1, energy weapons on 2, and then power weapons on 3, and then you kind of swap between them. That was a little weird to get used to, but now that I've kind of got the groove of it down, you know, you come up to a shielded enemy and you start blasting them with your energy weapon, and then switch over to your kinetic and start shooting down their health. That's fun. That's really fun, and that brings back the feeling I got with Halo, where, I'm supposed to be following the blue. I'm getting distracted. It brought back the memory of Halo, when I would use the plasma, or was it the plasma pistol? Yeah, the plasma pistol, charge shot, bring down shields, and then, go at them with the assault rifle. You know, it's really fun. It's a great mechanic. It works very well for a game like Destiny. So it encourages you to swap out weapons, and it encourages you to have, well, I wouldn't say it encourages you, but, it's more fun to have like a different type of weapon for your energy and your kinetic. So you could have 2 assault rifles for each, but it's more fun to have, you know, like a what did they have? A revolver for my energy weapon is what I was rolling with for a little bit, and then I'd switch over to like my assault rifle, and that was fun. That was really fun. I really like how that system worked out in the end, and I wasn't prepared to enjoy it as much as I am right now. Yeah, and so here's an example. I mean, if you're unfamiliar, an example of a public event where just a ton of people get together and shoot a bunch of aliens with some sort of mechanic going on, and then we all get a great reward at the end. So that's really fun. And I do apologize that the frame rate is just terrible right now. I should have been recording during the story mission that I was just in, but I didn't think to do that. Maybe I'll get some footage of another single-player mission, just so you can see the difference, and you know that I'm not lying. It really is a bizarre thing, so we'll see. I'm thinking it might just be a network problem, but we'll see. But yeah, so I mean, those are kind of my first impressions. I've been having a great time with it. I'm really curious to see how it goes on. The inventory is the one thing where I really like the design of it, but I do wish that it was made a little bit more simple in some ways. So you have this mode, where you hold the E button and you can see the power level of everything. Why couldn't we keep that on at all times? That would make it so much easier to, let me just... It would make it so much easier just to swap out your equipment much quicker. So maybe we'll see that feature get implemented at some point. Anyways, back to what I was saying here. And then you have to hold Q to compare, and again, it'd be nice if it just did that as you hovered over things. Instead, you just get this kind of basic... I mean, it's no big deal. It's just a little bit tedious in some ways. And then the other thing I'd like to see is a way to select a group of items and then hold F to dismantle. Because as it is right now, if I want to get rid of all these weapons, make sure nothing here is super good. Oh, I actually want to keep that. I might take a look. But if I want to get rid of these top 3 weapons here, right? I have to hold F. Okay, and then I have to hold F. Okay, and then I have to hold F. Do you see where I'm getting with that? And when you start getting a ton of items, you end up sitting in the inventory for like 10 minutes just trying to work through all your equipment. Now, if there is a way to do that quicker, I mean, if there's someone where I can just go to and literally sell everything, that'd be great. I've not found anything like that yet. So, yeah, that's something I'd like to see improved a little bit. Just one of those quality of life things that I think isn't too unreasonable to expect. So, yeah, I mean, those are my full thoughts so far. So thank you for checking out the video. I know this is kind of a random video here, but I don't know, just wanted to put this out there. I'm really enjoying it. I know it sounds like I've got a lot of complaints. A lot of them are, you know, kind of performance related. My machine isn't incredible, like I mentioned sometimes before. I've got an i5 2400 at 3.4 gigahertz and a GTX 970 with 16 gigs of RAM and an old-ass motherboard. But that does fit within the recommended requirements, so it is a little strange that in some places I'm getting solid 60 like I would expect, and in other places I'm getting 30. That's just a huge dip. You know, if it was going around, you know, high 40s, low 50s at certain points, and you know, then I'd understand. But it's sometimes in the heat of certain battles going into like 20 frames. There's one battle where you're fighting giant robots on Venus, and I was getting insanely low frames there. Like I was mentioning, 20. So it needs a little bit of work, and I think, like I've said maybe a dozen times now, I think it's just a matter of when there's a ton of players around. So we'll see. Hopefully that gets sorted out. But honestly, I'm having an absolute blast with the game. I'm really loving it. When I'm not playing it, I just want to play it more. I was prepared to get Super Mario Odyssey, and then I thought, well, I kind of just want to play Destiny. So yeah, it's a great game that just needs a little bit more work in certain things, but it's still so much fun to play. Looking forward to spending 100-some hours with this game, because a game like this, shooter, RPG, looter, MMO type thing, yeah, that's right up my alley. Absolutely. Alright, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you all next time.